For part 2, the developer's point of view about World Cup pools. I told you I've been the developer for this, meaning the part on the app. An application like this obviously also needs a server component, and the design and graphics were done by Andreas Heck, who's my partner on this app. Basically, what you want to do is you want to communicate with the server in a sensible way where you have little programming work in the app. And I found by far the easiest way to achieve that is via synchronous methods, and have the server pass property lists to you. Because then if you want to kind of get the result of a query or an API call on the server, all you do is just instantiate an array or a dictionary from this plist, and you're done. And let me show you, that's how it looks in my API. So basically I'm building together a URL string where I have all the parameters URL encoded, and a line like this is all it takes. I get a dictionary, it's a plist, and in the plist there's certain values that I can take out, but I don't need to do any kind of parsing or anything. Now, a call like this is synchronous. That means it blocks the UI. This line only returns after it has a result or has gotten an error. So how do you get around that? Well, for each of the calls that I'm doing synchronously, I have one that has the same name but async in the beginning, and what it does is it creates an invocation operation out of this synchronized call and puts it on an operation queue. And the queue I set to just one item at a time, concurrent. So these things will run in the background, and once the API call returns in the end, I will just post a notification, and I'm making sure that I'm doing that on the main thread, because if I'm updating UIKit classes, there might be problems. These operations on the operation queue can also be on the background thread, depending on how busy the CPU is. And then you want to absolutely make sure that these things that it triggers only happen on the main thread. Now, that's basically the core, all this communication. Let me just give you a brief tour of my project file here. We have two targets, one for the Pro and one for the normal, and there's a compiler switch that enables certain things on the Pro version. And there are files that are target specific, like the default picture, which is World Cup Pros for the Pro, and they are also localized, and I keep these in a special folder here that I don't get them mixed up. And then I have my classes. There is the model classes and my API, basically my class to talk to the betting pool on the server. And then there's a class where I'm using mostly components that I previously created, reusing code. Some of it I created new just for this app, but I created them in a way that I can reuse them at later stages. And some of these you have already seen on the shop, for example, the purchase button or the DT shop, which comes as a bonus with purchase button. All of that is reusable code. And then for the individual screens, I have a group per view, basically. By the way, reachability, I'm using Apple's Reachability 2.0. If you know which order to call things in, it's perfect to first get a check, is the server available, or is the network connection available when you start the app, because then you have to do something, otherwise Apple might reject your app. And during the running of the app, I get notified if the connection goes down, for example. Then I'm displaying a screen. No connection is there, but you need one to use this app. The pools, the groups, the matches. For the matches cells because there are so many details inside. I'm using a technique where I have a custom cell, but the custom cell is basically only a wrapper for a custom view. And in this custom view, I'm doing all the drawing of the texts in DrawRect. That makes it really efficient because there are no views that need to be composed. For other cells that are constructed simpler, like the cell that has the bets, well, I just have a couple of labels and it doesn't really that much impact the performance there. And that's it, yeah. Most of the views are basic tables. So it's a UI table view with custom cells in a view controller that has a background image. And a couple I had as nibs because they combine things. Like you've seen the info screen has a table at the bottom. So I have my custom cells and then I have a web view over a frame to have this nice scrolling effect there. So for the login, the info, the no connection, let me show you how the no connection looks. It's just the grass and there's a text that says it's localized, you need a connection. That's basically the structure of the app. Let me maybe give you a couple of pointers how certain things were achieved. For one, the thing about the tables where you have a table scrolling vertically and then you can go horizontally, that is just the UI scroll view that has multiple UI table views mounted on it. And each of these tables has a different tag and they have the same delegate and data source, namely this view controller that's on this navigation stack here. So the view controller knows based on the tag of the page I'm at, which the cells are that it needs to be providing. So that's a good way and it's very, well, convenient by using the swiping gestures. Another thing, these are these are grouped table view cells. And you might know, if you did a bit of development, that there's a couple of problems if you want to customize them like we did here. Like we have a glossy gray black background here, and if you click them, you have it in green, and there's even in settings, you see you can even do it in red. I'm basically reusing Xcode that I found on the internet, and I modified it a bit to have this special look. And this Xcode is drawing a rounded rect. And this rounded rect, it's exactly drawing in the frame of the background view of this cell. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a table cell. I'm replacing the background view with this rounded rect and the selected background view with this. Both of them are drawn. And the text I didn't really change it. I just set it to white and centered. So I'm using all the technology that's already there in the table view cells, but I'm just exchanging the background. And making the background of the table view transparent allows you to have a UI image view with an image behind it, like we're doing it everywhere. That's the simple trick, basically. There's one specialty we found that on SDK 3.2, if you do transparency on the text layer, because you need to have the background view shine through, then you need to set the alpha of the background, the background color to clear color in the view the cell will display method. Otherwise you get white blobs there. So you can see lots of work is in here. It's about 78 hours in total. I also hope that you found my insight into the creation of this app intriguing. And then when it is approved on the store, you will give it a go, and maybe even if you're not a soccer fan, download it, purchase it. That will make me really happy. Okay, bye bye.